They want you to know what they're doing to you, right? What do we need humans for? What do we need so many humans for?
Do you have an answer in the book?
At present, the best guess we have is keep them happy with drugs and computer games. Most people will be willing to give up their privacy in exchange for much better healthcare based on 24 hours monitoring of what's happening inside their bodies. Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me, that this is my free will, that's over. The real aim of science as a project, as an establishment, is not truth, it's power. The idea of the social credit is to monetize everything, to give value to every single thing you do in life. It's a function of surveillance. It has positive potential in some regards. It could create the most totalitarian systems in history.
You would think that they would know what other people are saying and they would clean up their image a little bit, but they don't seem to care.
Have you heard the theory that President Lincoln was actually assassinated by the Rothschilds? Yeah, sounds crazy, but listen, back then the Rothschilds were powerful bankers in Europe. They were backing the Confederates by selling their money overseas. Meanwhile, Lincoln wanted America to break free from those foreign banks. Now here's the strange part. Around the same time, Russia had also pushed out the Rothschild bankers. And when the Civil War heated up, Russian ships actually came to America. They docked in New York and San Francisco. Officially, it was friendly support. But many believe Russia was warning Europe. Don't you dare step in for the South. So, put it together. Europe's bankers had money tied to the Confederates. Lincoln was cutting their system out. Russia was backing him. And suddenly, Lincoln gets assassinated. Was it really just one angry actor, or was it part of a bigger plan to protect the banking empire? Schools won't teach you that version, but if you follow the money, the Civil War starts looking less like North versus South, and more like nations fighting the bankers who controlled the world.
They're keeping this closed off from the public for what reason? Listen, there were things down there we just weren't prepared to encounter. Look, we were sent down into a canal which sonars couldn't detect a bottom on, right? It takes us hours to get through it, and when we finally did, we emerged into what felt like a pocket ocean. Words couldn't explain the anatomy of the creatures we were seeing outside the window, right? But we truly realized the alien nature of this place when this elongated, almost translucent-like figure, right? No joke, literally swims through the wall of the submarine. Don't ask me how, but we're just staring at it, right? As it completely passes through and just goes out the other side, right? I mean, these things weren't even abiding by our known laws of physics.
I mean, I remember saying with the crew, like, if outer space was a place on Earth, this was it, you know?
Risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants, like all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullet from this government. It's lying to us that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now. And reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box, wrapped in a towel. He left breadcrumbs. Something is wrong with this whole picture.
This is exactly why some of us freak out whenever new military technology is released. Just look at these two machines going at each other. It's a drone and a robot dog shooting firecrackers at one another. I think this is some sort of test, but even this looks intense. Both are tirelessly firing at each other with precision. Imagine if they had actual bullets or explosives. The damage they could cause is something I don't even want to think about.
Worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become resty, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world. So that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is. So they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated. So they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they put player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus.
Google reads every single Gmail email you send and receive to create targeted advertising profiles, even if you think your messages are private. Google tracks your location 24/7, even when you turn off location services using cell tower data and Wi-Fi connections to build movement patterns. Number 3, Google's search algorithm changes over 500 times per year, but they never announce the updates, meaning your search results are constantly being manipulated. Number 4, Google stores every search you've ever made, even in incognito mode, and keeps this data forever, building detailed profiles of your interests and behavior. Number 5, Google can access your microphone and camera remotely through Android phones and Chrome browsers, even when apps aren't actively using them. Number 6, Google owns YouTube and deliberately promotes certain videos while suppressing others based on their own business interests, not just popularity. Number 7, Google's autocomplete suggestions are designed to influence what you search for by predicting and shaping your thoughts, rather than just reflecting them. Google has backup copies of every deleted email, photo, and document you've ever had stored on their servers, and can restore them without your permission.
That was quick, right? The bridge didn't last too long. That's crazy. What a waste of, I don't know if they have taxpayer dollars out there, but you know the people funded that, right? I don't know what they call it out there, but that was a waste.
Did you know that Buzz Aldrin, the second man to go to the moon, has said multiple times that he never went there?
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
You would think if you went to the moon, you'd be like, yeah, that was me.
Nobody went to the moon in such a long time.
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going.
Why are they lying about getting us to the moon? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Anyways, this is my driver, and I'm fed up. So, I'm glad I got this.
This is fucking aliens. I don't know how the hell we got them. I've never seen it. The pilots who flew them had never seen it before. The president didn't know about it.
Got it.
When they were telling President Obama about it and they were going over the options, I think like the chief of staff of the Air Force said, there is one more thing. And he told them, the contingency, we're going to get in a fight. As soon as we land, this is when we're not coming home from. And we know it. We're going to get shot down. This is not a third world country. They have probably Russian or Chinese made anti-aircraft shit. We're going to get shot down. These helicopters, they're supposed to be
future.
Was the biggest loser. Satan? No. God. God lost his man. God lost the woman he created with his own hands. God had given Adam absolute authority over this planet, and his own created son committed high treason.
As some of these types of people controlled opposition, have they been placed on this side of the board to give us selected information that the past and fed down? There is one thing I agree. The people in that industry are definitely selling their soul.
Welcome to a new era of history. The Grand Egyptian Museum has officially opened its doors in Giza, the largest archaeological museum in the world. Visitors can now stand face to face with the treasures of King Tutankhamun, ancient artifacts, and the iconic statue of Ramses II. A new chapter of Egypt's timeless civilization begins today.
Watch the eyes, bro. Watch out. What? You see how they lit up? I don't know about the technology and all that. I just know what I see right here. Oh, that's crazy, bro. I'm gonna play that video one more time for y'all, but I want y'all to look at the eyes. This ain't no AI, bro. It can't be, bro. Not this one. Let this be. I do this for educational and entertainment purposes only, man. We just trying to figure this out, bro. Is those aliens what the government is telling us right on the news? That flying saucers is all over the place these days, and aliens are making it out in Nevada and out all these other places in Alaska and all that, right? Or is this the fallen angels? Which one do y'all think? I'm gonna play this video one more time.
Alright, this is a whole video recording of two extraterrestrial seen walking.
I don't know, bro. It's getting spooky out here. Tell me your thoughts.
Megan Kelly dropping the Charlie Kirk receipts today. Did y'all see this?
But I found video. Me, Tucker, and Charlie speaking backstage right before Tucker went out. Tucker and I were talking. Charlie came over and interrupted for just a second. He says to Tucker, "Go Max." He interrupts the conversation because he has to say to Tucker something. And what was so important to him to tell Tucker was, go Max. Here it is. It's quick. It just happens to be on tape. And it backs up what Tucker said.
Tucker Carlson and...
what is called a perforated septum, slightly different from a deviated septum, and that is it's what you think it's from. Don't do drugs, kids. Or, you know, everyone's going to have the experience they need to have with life. I'm not going to tell anyone what to do, but I don't recommend it because it ruined my life. I don't want to get plastic surgery to fix it because I'm almost 6 years sober, and so you have to take pills when you do a surgery that gnarly, and I don't want to that, but I've been living with this since I was about 20, and it's a bitch when you're in the studio comping vocals, and I can actually stick a spaghetti noodle.
And again, unless you know those people and you're one of them. And I do. Well, then you might be in it. But I've never been to a meeting where they're like, all right, we're going to, a third of the population. So why do you think the world's going to be over soon?
Well, as Bill Gates said, we need 3 billion less people. And they really don't give a how we get 3 billion. If we have 3 billion less people, we don't have all these crises that we have right now.
That's where I go back to just enjoy your day, because you can't do shit about it. When there's global elite that have billions and billions and billions that they can buy off governors and judges and presidents, like there's people in control of this world, and I'm not in it. And again, unless you know those people and you're one of those.
And I do.
Well, then you might be in it. But I've never been to a meeting where they're like, all right, we're going to a third of the population, so we have air in 100 years.
They don't talk like that. Everything's theoretical, and they put up their PowerPoint presentation and some little skinny, or 2 or 3 little skinny, from Stanford, Caltech, and MIT, and Oxford. This is what could happen if this happened, if this happened. Then somebody in the back of the room will raise their hand, and what are the probabilities of all these things happening at once? Not self-induced, in other words, not caused. They say 0%. And what has helped along a little, they put it nicer than that. Oh, we can make it happen 1 out of 3 times. Everybody got chuckles and. But I'd rather be part of that group. That's why I call everybody a meathead.
We've heard a lot about extremism recently, a nastier, harsher atmosphere everywhere, more abuse and bother boy behaviour, less friendliness and tolerance and respect for opponents. All right, but what we never hear about extremism is its advantages. Well, the biggest advantage of extremism is that it makes you feel good, because it provides you with enemies. Let me explain. The great thing about having enemies is that you can pretend that all the badness in the whole world is in your enemies, and all the goodness in the whole world is in you. Attractive, isn't it? So, if you have a lot of anger and resentment in you anyway, and you therefore enjoy abusing people, then you can pretend that you're only doing it because these enemies of yours are such very bad persons. And that if it wasn't for them, you'd actually be good-natured and courteous and rational all the time. So, if you want to feel good, become an extremist. Okay, now you have a choice. If you join the hard left, they'll give you their list of authorized enemies. Almost all kinds of authority, especially the police, the city, Americans, judges, multinational corporations, public schools, furriers, newspaper owners, fox hunters, generals, class traitors, and, of course, moderates. Or, if you'd rather be an extremist on the hard right, no problem, fine, you still get a lovely list of enemies, only they're different ones. Noisy minority groups, unions, Russia, weirdos, demonstrators, welfare spongers, meddlesome clergy, peaceniks, the BBC, strikers, social workers, communists, and, of course, moderates, and upstart actors. Now, once you're armed with one of these super lists of enemies, you can be as nasty as you like, and yet feel your behaviours morally justified. So, you can strut around abusing people and telling them you could eat them for breakfast, and still think of yourself as a champion of the truth, a fighter for the greater good, and not the rather sad paranoid.
How many different districts do they have in the 100 grams? 13, just like there's 13 Federal Reserve banks in America. 1 judge, 12 jurors, 1 son, 12 sides. Every single time it's there. You have to look at the systems in play. And then you're going to see the elite use numerology and astrology.
¿Alguien me prueba que me diga qué significa eso? Una mano te va a recoger a ti y a tu carro.
Say, oh, you know, UFOs they're just demon spirits. Well, the problem with that is that a demon spirit cannot manifest itself physically in our 4-dimensional space-time. The only way they can interact in our 4-dimensional space-time is to directly possess a human being. So a UFO that can be picked up on multiple radars can be photographed, bends and breaks tree branches when it descends, leaves marks in the ground when it ascends, and leaves radioactive residue, is a physical object. Plain and simple. It's not a trans-dimensional being. 85% of what we see in the sky as UFOs are in fact our own spacecraft or aircraft that is being developed by these black projects. The other 15% are probably
only can they clone
UFOs.
people. They can bring you back from the dead, right? Scientists just did this, right? They just killed the rat, let the rat stay dead for over an hour, and then brought him back alive. But they noticed something. It wasn't the same rat. A lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people understand everything that they can do that you can do. The people don't understand that you control your mind. Your mind is your only power. It's your original power. Whatever you tell your mind to do, it can do. But if you tell your mind it can't do it, it can't do it.
Peckish, so she heads to the kitchen for some girl dinner in the form of grapes that also keeps switching back and forth from grapes into cockroaches, so that's pretty tasty. And of course, right as she pops one into her mouth stretches open in this horrific way. And the video ends after this with the
tuning into our show. We hope you've had a lot of fun and learned some new things.
After that, we see that there's
You're not supposed to be here.
And the words "find which truth" can be seen hidden on the screen.
I'm so glad to see you again. Oh my, what happened to you? It looks like you've seen a ghost.
Did you have a bad dream? Do you know how to get rid of bad dreams? First, you find the sink. Then, whisper your dream into running water. All done. Remember, dreams can't hurt you. Unless you let them.
As Dottie whispers her bad dream, she says that she should clean her room now. We hear a knock at the door, the same one that we saw in the intro of the video.
I promised to my room today. It's important to keep your space cleanly, so... Have you ever known you were better than the world let you believe?
And then, when her smile finally drops, when she finally shows an emotion that's not this forced, like, happy persona, the eyes are completely whited out.